what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and in this video, I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets potentially coming together, because we heard from Peter King recently a report that the Green Bay Packers are looking for at least 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers if they're looking to trade him. And he also added that Jets owner Woody Johnson would be happy to pay the price in order to bring in a quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers. We heard from Woody Johnson himself right after the season. He talked about it, and he said himself that he feels like this team is a quarterback away from going to the playoffs and going into the big game, according to the owner for the New York Jets and Woody Johnson. So it is good to hear that Woody Johnson is, giving Joe Douglas and giving the Jets front office the okay, where I'm going to allow you to be aggressive, go get the quarterback, because he feels like this team is ready to go win some football games, and they just need to get a freaking quarterback in the building. And we know that there's a lot of other options out there outside of Aaron Rodgers, such as Derek Carr, such as Lamar Jackson becomes available, other guys as well. But, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation about this, and I just want to talk about, is it worth giving up 2 first-round picks, or maybe even more, plus the contract that Aaron Rodgers is going to come with to bring him here at 39, 40 years old? Is it worth it? And I want to get your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section if you feel like it's worth it, because I went live on this topic yesterday, and I can definitely tell that there's a lot of mixed feelings amongst Jets fans of whether they want to go all in for Aaron Rodgers or not. We all have, the Brett Favre situation in the back of our minds, because this is pretty much the same exact scenario, but obviously different at the same time, because it's a different team, different regime that we have today back in, 2007, 2008, when we got Brett Favre to the Jets. But I really want to get your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think it's worth it to give up 2 first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers on top of the contract it is going to come with, which is around $58, $60 million in total? But it's complicated. Don't make it seem like we're paying him all that money and it's going to be attached to the cap and we're not going to have any space to sign in of our own players. That's not the case. If you bring him in, Aaron Rodgers, the contract will probably be reworked, but the cap hit is not as much as you guys would think. It's really complicated when it looks at the salary cap stuff, and I'm not going to get too deep into that. I really want to talk about if it's worth it, and if Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets would elevate this team to where we want it to go. So before I hop into the video, I also want to mention, if you guys can do me a gigantic favor, simply hit that thumbs up button. Really helps out the channel a ton, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We got a lot of Jets content coming your way all throughout the rest of the offseason, of course. With that being said, let's get into my thoughts of this. So first and foremost, man, you guys have been, following along on this journey on my channel since the offseason started for the Jets. We know that Derek Carr is a big possibility. We know that Lamar Jackson feels like it's unrealistic, just because we heard that the Ravens are finding an offensive coordinator and Lamar Jackson is going to be part of that search. But we don't know what the Lamar Jackson situation is. But Aaron Rodgers is a very interesting quarterback, because what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table, comparison to guys like Derek Carr and Lamar Jackson, is we're going all in to win. I mean, you do not go and get Aaron Rodgers on the Jets for 1 to 2 seasons if you don't have the mindset of, we need to go all in and win right now. Go to the playoffs. Go make it to the AFC Championship game. Hey, go make it to the freaking Super Bowl, because Aaron Rodgers is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Derek Carr, he has never won a playoff game, I'm pretty sure. I think he's been to the playoffs a couple times, but he's never won it there. And I love Derek Carr, by the way. I'm nothing against Derek Carr. I think that Derek Carr would be a very smart option for the Jets. He'd be cheaper. You don't have to pay him a lot of money. You don't have to give up a lot of draft assets, and you can have a better team around you. And he's also younger. But Aaron Rodgers brings to the table a former MVP, a guy that knows what it takes to win at the next level, and he brings you a quarterback that will also elevate the guys around him. I mean, imagine what Aaron Rodgers would do with a guy like Garrett freaking Wilson. I mean, we saw Aaron Rodgers help develop Davante Adams. We know how much of a superstar Davante Adams is. Go look at Davante Adams' early seasons of his career in Green Bay. He was not doing what Garrett Wilson was doing. I also think that Davante Adams had a lot of guys ahead of him when he was a rookie, so it's very different. I'm not saying Garrett Wilson is going to be the next Davante Adams, but hey, why wouldn't he be? Garrett Wilson had 80-plus catches, 1,100 yards, and 4 touchdowns with 3 bad quarterbacks in his rookie season. So imagine what a guy like Garrett Wilson can do with a veteran and a future Hall of Famer like Aaron Rodgers. Not to mention the other guys on the offense that we have in Elijah Moore. because Elijah Moore is a player that we heard the rumors, and we had a report from The Athletic that, Elijah Moore, Mike LaFleur are not on the same page, and very frustrated from Elijah Moore. And you guys know me. I'm very high on Elijah Moore. I really think he has all the talent in the world to be a great wide receiver in this league, but for whatever reason, the relationship with LaFleur and Zach Wilson just wasn't there, and I think the talent is there for Elijah Moore. You bring in a new offensive coordinator that can really use his talents, and a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, it's like we have the weapons on offense. We really do. I think the only issue with this offense, it's not the weapons. It's the protection. It's the offensive line. And that's what the priority needs to be this offseason. Outside of the quarterback, outside of the offensive coordinator, which is big-time question marks, the offensive line needs to be the priority in the draft, in free agency, in the trade market, and obviously getting healthy even the players that are on the roster, like Mekhi Becton and AVT. Those two players need to get back to full strength. So if you bring in Aaron Rodgers, is he worth 2 first-round picks? That's the next question that I really want to ask and talk about, because that's pretty good. That's a pretty decent amount of draft capital for a guy that's 39, 40 years old. But the way I'm looking at it, man, I've always been a fan that's been like, do not trade away your future picks. You want to have sustainable success. You want to, have draft capital flexibility for the future. But where the Jets are currently sitting, after having a lot of draft capital, by the way, these previous drafts, having multiple first-round picks, being able to draft, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and Jermaine Johnson all in the first round last year. We had 3 first-round picks last year. So, in my opinion, all the players that we have on the roster right now that we've drafted the past couple of years, and have the 3 draft classes of Joe Douglas been perfect? Absolutely not. His 2020 draft class is not looking that good. His 2021 draft class is not looking as good as we initially thought. His draft class last season is looking like an absolute home run. But based on what this Jets team looks like on paper, and contractually speaking, in the youth, now's the time to go all in and win. And I made this point over and over again. We're going to have to pay guys like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson, Elijah Vera Tucker, Mekhi Becton, Elijah Moore. Not saying we're going to have to not saying the Jets will re-sign all of them, but those guys are pretty talented, and they're on very cheap contracts. So now's the time to be able to go out there and get a quarterback to bring in to win right now. And Woody Johnson, the owner, not a fan of Woody Johnson, by the way. I don't want to make it seem like that, but I think it's a big deal that he is giving the okay to pay the price for Joe Douglas to go out there, and giving him the okay to do that, because he's sick and tired of seeing this team go out there every single season and having competence at the quarterback play. And when you can get a future Hall of Fame quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's been an MVP in this league back-to-back seasons not too long ago, I think it was 2019 and 2020, or maybe 2020, 2021. There's a lot of juice left in the tank of Aaron Rodgers. There's risk involved with any quarterback, but I personally think you give up those 2 first-round picks, you bring in Aaron Rodgers. We just saw the Buffalo Bills implode in the playoffs. We know that this defense is going to get better under Robert Saleh. We know that we have a lot of players on offense that's going to get better, especially when we add more offensive line talent and depth. And let's go. Let's go freaking win next season with Aaron Rodgers. I'm all in on Aaron Rodgers. I think he'd be an absolute big-time difference maker of the culture and the shift of the mindset for the New York Jets. Obviously, he comes with some baggage, off-the-field drama. But listen, I think it's worth it. Go out there. You get your quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers becomes available, let's go freaking do it. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I know some of you guys will disagree with me, say no, stay away from Aaron Rodgers, and that's totally okay. Let me know your reasonings down below in the comments section. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. Hit that thumbs up if you did not already, and I'll catch you guys next time. Let's go, Jets. Peace out.